moving here and living here has changed my life. It is living the dream. And time after time, when I get an opportunity to help people relocate here, I see them live their dream.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Real Podcast. I'm your host, David Moya, co-host Mike Campos here today. And we have a great guest on the show, Tanya Parks. She is a light in this industry for sure. I've had an opportunity to work with her this last month on a great project that she'll be releasing here shortly. But we also wanted to talk about what's going on in the current marketplace and how we're turning this or rather, what is that saying you had, Tanya, turning this success, not stress, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
So, Tanya, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me, both of
you.
Hey,
Tanya.
You guys know I'm big fans of you both, and I'm really honored to be here today. So thanks for taking the time with me.
Yeah. So Mike and you guys have a longer history than I do, but you and I just really connected the start of last year, and we had some concepts that we wanted to work with you on to get your online visibility to a whole new level. So we're working with you on that now. But Mike, you and Tanya have a working history there. Talk to me a little bit about how long you guys known each other. What's kind of what she's done in the marketplace.
Yeah, it's been, 4 or 5 years. I met Tanya, and she has been with Pacific Sotheby's International since that time frame. And, Tanya has a knack for working with some of the most, sophisticated customers here in the North Coastal beach communities. So it's always a treat to have intelligent conversations, to have nice, tough challenges that we get to work through together to help accomplish goals for these home sellers and buyers here in the beach areas. And it's just always a real treat because Tanya's very positive, intelligent. She makes everybody smile, man. So I mean, it's always great to be seeing her and seeing her progress and her journey through this wild industry.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Wow.
Indeed, Tanya, you definitely have a way with your clients. We met a few, and just the impact you're making in the lives of your clients is amazing to watch. And obviously you have a really, really, real deep love and appreciation for San Diego, having moved here. And what was it? How long ago have you moved here? Or when was it that you moved out here?
It's a little over 11 years now.
Yeah. And so, just talking with you, I can just feel the love that you have for this city, and it's really cool because it's a nice fresh of breath air. A lot of times people get so used to working here, and you can overlook or take it for granted. And it's a remarkable place to live, and I love that you're bringing that same passion to each of your clients and their experiences.
Yeah, I moved here from a great place. I moved here from Santa Cruz, California, which is an amazing, amazing place, Monterey Bay area. We're absolutely connected to Silicon Valley and the Bay Area as a whole, but Santa Cruz is a very special place. And when I moved here, which was kind of on a whim, because again, I loved living in Santa Cruz, but when I moved here, I heard people say the motto, San Diego, America's finest city. And I remember thinking, oh yeah, that's a lot. That's that's kind of a big statement, a little arrogant. And now I will fight anyone. San Diego is America's finest city. End of story. If you don't believe it or you haven't experienced it, let me show you. Let's go find out about what you like to do or about what you need to be connected with. Give me a chance to show you exactly how San Diego will serve that in your life. So I'm such a believer. I'm in love with this city. It blows my mind all the time. I go crazy when I get to have friends visit. and show them San Diego. I go crazy when I get to relocate people here, because this moving here and living here has changed my life. It is living the dream. And time after time, when I get an opportunity to help people relocate here, I see them live their dream. So I'm convinced.
What's your favorite thing? What's your go-to when you want to appreciate San Diego? What do you like
my
doing the
go-to
most?
changes all the time, because this city shows me something new all the time. Every few months I go somewhere and I go, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize this was here. Hiking out in Fallbrook, whether that's surfing at Swami's, whether that is going to have tacos and watch the lowriders on Sunday morning in Barrio Logan, and whether that's connecting with incredible research scientists who are in the biotech industry here, who are leading the world's research. You can sit in on public symposiums with these people. That's incredible. Going to art gallery openings in North Park or Kensington or Mid-City, going to cultural festivals in City Heights. I mean, it's nonstop. It's like, it is always showing me a different face. So I have no favorite. I stay open.
Now,
I learned to not pigeonhole it. I just stay open. Ask me next month what my favorite is.
After hearing you talk, I feel like I haven't even experienced. San Diego yet.
Yeah, David, do you want to go to a symposium anytime soon? I mean, we can learn a few things probably.
Man, I mean, you went down a list, like a very exciting, like dynamic list right there. I mean, that is, and it's great because you're not listing it like you have it memorized. Like this is true for you. I know you in our conversations, like this is something that you're bringing up. Mike, can I ask you a question in terms of like you work with a lot of agents all the time, right? It's like that's who you work with. They're your partners. So how is like that, right? The whole aspect of an agent or broker, in Tanya's case, really being in love with the city and in love with their profession. How does that make a difference for you as a partner? And then what kind of difference do you see when a client experiences that type of passion through the service that she gives?
Well, when you take care of a client above and beyond just the transaction, but you're making them fall in love with not only the house, but the community and the things to do around the community, it just makes a person happier, a client happier. When with Tanya's personality, how positive she is, and how diversified she is, and what's going on here in San Diego, it's hard to be in a bad mood. So. What I'm seeing a lot of is, Tanya's clients are positive. They feel good about their decision. They know what's going on around the property, around the community, around the city, around the county. That really makes a buyer confident about moving here and working with her.
Nice.
Yeah. Makes any sense. I hope
no, totally. I get that.
Thank you.
I get that. And I just love to ask because you're there, you're watching her do her thing, all the time. And so getting another person's perspective on just kind of the difference she's making. I think I just want to hear it from you, because then I think she needs to hear it too, right? Tanya is like probably doing it and she's like, this is who I am. But like, you don't have to be. I've seen many agents who aren't that way, who aren't as excited about the city, who aren't excited about their profession as much. And I think that really is a big difference for your clients' experience. Now, I know this because, we went through an in-depth, storyboarding process for your agent, for your story. I want to have people hear a little bit about your story, like how you got started and why you got started.
Yeah, so I can speak to that, but I want to be sure that we circle back to what I like about Mike, because that's I got something to say to you, Betty. But yeah, so I grew up in Santa Cruz, and one thing about growing up in Santa Cruz is it's somewhere that demands that you be a little extra strong, a little tough, right? Santa Cruz people are generally pretty tough. We get out there in the cold water. It's a small town, so you definitely have to make your way. and be self-evident. So I have that spirit in me. I was also raised by a single parent, and she was raised by a widow. So my grandmother was widowed very young. She raised 6 kids by herself. She was from New York and never learned to drive. So I want you to think about a woman who never learned to drive and raised 6 kids very successfully by herself. So that's from the top down to my mother. My mother was a phenomenal single parent. So we are women that get up and get it done. And we are a close family, and we, there's just no can't. There's just no that's too hard, or there's just no fallback. You get up and you get it done, and you take it all the way to a successful end. And also just being surrounded by those women, there's definitely a little extra level of, care and closeness and communication. So that was definitely really big in our family. My mother was one of 6, as I said, and 5 of those were girls, right? So there was just a real education in communicating and bonding and relying on each other and learning how to make decisions that lifted everybody. So that's my core, is making decisions and helping other people make decisions that lift everything that's happening, right? So not this self-serving attitude, but really just let's help each other. Let's figure out the best path. Let's get in, let's be tough, and let's get it done. So,
that work ethic, that nurturing mentality, that never giving up, that putting your best foot forward, right?
Yeah. Again, that comes from Santa Cruz too, because in the culture that I grew up in the surfing culture. You get thrown in the water and you've got to fend for yourself. So you get out there and you get it done, right? There's no if, and, or buts. And then as far as real estate goes, I was actually kind of scouted by somebody. I was working in the hospitality industry in my early 20s, and somebody said, you have an amazing service ethic. Have you ever thought about being in real estate? I had not. No one in my family was in real estate, although we had home ownership. So all my aunts, my grandmother, when she was widowed, bought a home. And then each one of my aunts, as they grew into their 20s and graduated college, they each bought starter homes. So I could see the way that real estate ownership kept our family together and created security and created some legacy for my cousins and next generations. So although no one was in the real estate industry, I could see how it was working as an important factor in personal investment. So I was a receptionist for Century 21 in Santa Cruz, and I worked for a broker there who owned 3 Century 21 offices. She had gotten her license when she was 18 years old, and at the time I started working for her, I'd hate to guess, but I think she was in her 60s. So she was a seasoned vet. And so that was an incredible education in how to get it done and how to do it right. She was also very service oriented. So being able to keep that heart of service was very critical. And I got out of real estate. I was with her for a little bit, got out of real estate, did some other things. And when I moved to San Diego, number one, I saw the real estate opportunities here. Sure. And maybe we can talk about that when you're ready. But San Diego, in terms of cities that could even be considered comparable, I don't think any city on the West Coast is comparable. But cities that could be considered comparable in terms of opportunity and infrastructure, our real estate is priced and valued so much lower, even to this day. So when I moved here, I was actually shocked at the prices here. And I thought, oh my gosh, there's a lot of opportunity here. And so, yeah, I started.
So did you get into sales right away here in San Diego, or did you start as an associate or a receptionist, or how did you get started in San Diego?
I went in terms of my career in San Diego real estate. I originally worked at a small brokerage here in Encinitas, which was Seacoast, which is very beloved to people here in North County. Mike Evans and Anita Quillman, again, longtime vets, total pros, incredible people. That brokerage has since closed. I used to sit across the street in my office in Seacoast and look at the Sotheby's office, and I said, one of these days I'm going over to Sotheby's. So I have been here with Sotheby's now. I think it'll be 6 years in October. And I am licensed as a broker, not just an agent, and that is very meaningful to me. And there's the opportunity when you are licensed as a broker to go off on your own and have your own company. And there's some financial advantages to that. But I stay completely rooted in Sotheby's because I am a massive believer in the way we do things and in the very unique and very special advantages that sellers and buyers have when they list or work with Sotheby's.
That's phenomenal. I think your story, you know, if whoever wants to stay connected with Tanya, will go ahead and, you know, put some information on the bottom of the video, and obviously Tanya, you can provide some information on that at the end. But really, I mean, you're just somebody who I think people who want to get into the industry, or even someone who's in the industry for a long time now, can really grab and pull some nice new ways of doing business. I think you're very transparent and authentic, which is nice. I think a lot of times in the industry, there's this facade that we tend to put up, you know, because we everything is so beautiful. We have to match the perfection that sometimes comes across in the industry with, you know, architecture and the beauty with all that. So I think you have like the best of both worlds. You have this professionalism, this you know, true beauty, like I said, that radiates from within as well, and just kind of you're able to bring that for your clients. And I think that's a nice breath of fresh air for me, I think.
I don't even think people realize, they certainly don't show it on the TV show, but sort of the full scope of what you do as an agent, or what you should be willing to do as an agent, right? So sometimes you're in the suit and everything is polished and everything is incredible, and you're just in the suit directing the drone shot and putting the marketing together, or maybe doing some sort of a speaking engagement. And but just the other day, I was with my handyman handing him screws. As I stood next to the ladders, we screwed in 6 smoke detectors because the appraiser was going to be able to get there earlier than we thought, and we needed smoke detectors for the appraisal, right? So I am not afraid to roll up my sleeves. The sleeves are down right now, but I will roll them up in a minute.
Well, let's talk about, you know, the current market. You know, let's educate the viewers, the listeners. You and Mike, this is like you guys shine right now, because, and I'm going to just ask some questions here and there, but I want to hear you guys talk, like what's going on your side of the market, Mike, and what's going on your side of the market, Tanya, and how are you guys kind of coming together as partners and really adding value to each other's businesses, but also for your clients?
Well, I'll start here to kind of give Tanya a little direction, but, you know, as the lending partner, you know, we have a pivotal role in helping a buyer and a seller move forward in the transaction. And so as a partner, you know, for Tanya, you know, I have to help create a timeline that is realistic and aggressive to help the buyer move forward and get the winning offer. Tanya can attest to this, that there's a lot of transactions happening and there's not a lot of inventory. So there are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buyers per listing that's for sale, and everybody has to compete to get their offer accepted. So, you know, we're helping with short contingencies, a short escrow, and then many times helping create the right loan package to where the buyer can submit an offer, possibly with no appraisal contingencies and no loan contingencies. And then from there, you know, Tanya is able to, you know, help their buyer, you know, get the offer accepted based off of most of those terms. And, Tanya, if you'd like to talk a little bit about how an offer, if you're representing a seller, how an offer that had no appraisal or no loan contingencies can be the winning ticket. Because what I'm seeing is that sometimes the cash buyers are not the best buyer right now.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say, Mike, that when you talk about this market and when you talk about how critical it is to have a good lending partner, that's what I want to circle back with and say about you, is that I come to you because you are tough. You don't stop until it's done. And that's what I need and what I know that my clients need. We need someone who doesn't tap out at 5 p.m. because sometimes that's when the big things are happening. And so your level of commitment and your strength, and then layered on top of that, your knowledge and your experience, when this right now we are sort of in the Super Bowl of real estate in San Diego. So I don't know who's the quarterback or receiver, but we need each other. And we both have to be really, really strong and really tough and really committed. And the clock doesn't stop, right? We need to be. And so I know, Mike, when I need to call you, you're going to pick up. I know when my client needs a pre-approval instantly because they have found something they've liked and we need to go and make it happen. And I also know, more importantly than all of that, when you begin a loan process with a client, when you commit to your timeline, and timeline is everything right now. Speed is more important than money in the market in San Diego right now in order for people to be successful. But I know when you commit to that timeline, it's getting done. So I sleep at night. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
I'm not serious.
Gosh, maybe 2007, 2008, we're in the middle of a foreclosure short sale market. And there's, hundreds of properties for sale that are dilapidated. And I had maybe 15 or 17 pre-approved buyers that were writing offers on dilapidated houses. And we were using a specialty loan program called renovation where they can finance the remodel in the purchase price. And that way a first-time home buyer, second-time home buyer can afford to buy a property that was beat up from the previous owner or just, missing toilets or fixtures or just in really bad shape. And I had 10, 15 of these pre-approved buyers that were writing offers and being unsuccessful. So what I did, and this is what I do today, is what I did back then is I said, okay, 12, 15 buyers, stop shopping for real estate, stop writing offers. I'm going to take your loan applications, submit them to underwriting, getting you fully underwriter approved now, subject to the property. And then after that, go write your offers because now we have shorter timelines and shorter deadlines. And you know what? All 15 of them were able to be more successful in getting their offer accepted after we got them underwriter approved than compared to just having a simple pre-approval letter. And in this market right now, that's what I'm trying to do with home buyers is the buyers that need financing. I am doing everything possible now to make them as close to a cash buyer as possible. So when they do submit that offer, it's simply subject to homeowners insurance and a clean title report and a decent appraisal. And in many cases, we don't even care if the value comes in because the down payment might be significant enough to close escrow no matter what. So we're trying to help, and empower you, the agent, to be as strong and successful as possible by helping your clients be as close to those cash transactions as they can be.
Well, that's everything right now. And again, when I talked about success, not stress, is I really want to send a message to everybody. Don't believe the hype, okay? You're hearing the news and you're hearing your friends talk and you may be getting it from a lot of different directions. The big message out there is there's a couple here in San Diego specifically, but also in other markets. It's a seller's market. Okay. The other message is it's so difficult to get your offer accepted. And another message is it's a bubble. And I just want to address those very quickly. Number one is it's not a seller's market. the buyers are setting these prices. And the buyers are people, by and large, who are coming from other areas where they get so much less or so much more money. Because of relocation, because of remote work, and because of investment by a few key major companies that not everybody know have built new campuses and are buying land to do more infrastructure, more build in San Diego. There is a whole new group of people who are coming here, and they want their piece of San Diego. They must have it because they're going to work from here, either remote or their company has a campus on the way. San Diego has a future that I really think not many people are aware of. So all these people who are not getting subprime loans, this is why it's not a bubble. These are people who have cash on hand, have been saving, have good salaries, are high earners, okay, who have real solid liquid money in the bank and or qualify for phenomenal loans. And the loans are not subprime. These are real loans, okay? So there's no bubble. So you have real buyers with real money coming from areas where they're used to spending so much more for so much less. And that is why they think nothing of offering 25, 50, 75, 100K over a seller's list price. The seller didn't put it at that price. The buyers are competing at that price. Reframe it in your mind. It's not a seller's market. Sellers are not out here trying to get over on people. San Diego has historically been undervalued for the lifestyle and what we offer. We have had companies investing in San Diego. You want to talk about Illumina, Qualcomm, all the biotech, but you don't even know who's coming, okay? They're here, okay? And the people from areas are coming to join. So they're willing to pay a lot. So please undo the stress around it's a seller's market. Sellers are not trying to get over on you. Undo the idea, and I'm really speaking to locals with this one, that it's a bubble. The prices are not going to reverse. I lived through it in the 90s in Santa Cruz. When the dot-com boom happened, Santa Cruz is essentially the beach to Silicon Valley. It's a very small town. When the dot-com boom happened, everybody drove right over Highway 17 and bought everything we've had for sale. Santa Cruz values have never reversed since. This isn't a peak that's going into a valley. So if you're local and you're even considering grabbing a piece so that you can keep security here for the family and keep generations of your family living in San Diego, please do not think that this is a bubble, all right? And then the other thing is I just want to undo the stress that it's so competitive you can't win. And that the only way to win is to throw hundreds of thousands of dollars on top of everyone else's offers. I'm in all kinds of real estate groups and Facebook groups, and you wouldn't believe the memes, right? You've got like a meme of like Conor McGregor in that terrible fight, right? Like a month ago, and there'll be real estate memes saying, this is how it feels to be a buyer right now, or this is how it feels to be a buyer's agent right now. And I think if you're experiencing that, there's something missing from your success team, either your lender, potentially your agent, or potentially just the way that you personally are approaching this market. There are ways to have your offer accepted, and I do believe exactly what you say, Mike. Cash is not king out here, because cash buyers, by and large, will always offer a little less because we're cash, we're easy. Someone getting a loan is looking at a long-term payment. And so $50,000 more is a little less significant to them over the course of 30 years than just going out of pocket an extra 50K. All right. So I do believe that loans can absolutely win in this market. I believe that there's a path for some people who need to sell before they buy. There are different bridges you can create, but even making a contingent offer can be very successful. First-time buyers can be very successful. People not putting 50% down can be very successful. There are ways to do it. It has to do with strategy, approach, terms, relationships, and I would say the number one key outside of relationship is number one. So the buyer's relationship with their lender and their agent, and that agent and lender's relationship with the real estate community at whole, right? People, when they see a loan or an approval letter with Mike Campos on it, they know they're dealing with someone who gets their deals done, right? And so that has a lot of credence. The same thing with your agent. You're going to want to work with a broker agent who has deep relationships that can get you into a property quicker, that other people already trust and know get their deals finished. So outside of relationship, I think the second most important key is speed. You need to be pre-qualified with your lender. You already need to be just about 85% ready to a fully approved loan. You need to be with your lender and show them your whole picture. Have and it's not hard to do. It's not hard to do, and you're going to be so much more empowered, right? So you need to have that in place in order to go see properties quicker. You need an agent who can get you into the properties quicker, and then you need to write an offer that doesn't throw more money at the situation, but that creates confidence and speed for the seller's need. Sellers, more than anything, want to know that you're going to get it done within your timelines, absolutely, and that they can trust that. And so that is what I feel, and I'm having a pretty good luck out here. I'm 4 for 4 with the buyers I've been working with in the last 6 months. So I don't feel like that Conor McGregor meme, you know? And that is really because of some very special tactics, and it's because of speed, and it's because when we write an offer, the people on the other side of that offer trust that offer.
Yeah, Mike, can you touch on that? I mean, your side of the transaction, you're helping, Tanya's clients be able to show that, right? Be able to show that confidence through paperwork, through an offer or whatever, what have you. Talk to me a little bit about that, if you could.
So, when I first talk to Tanya's clients, I take the loan application and am prepared to write a pre-qualification or approval letter, depending on how much documents I collect from the client. And from there, I offer to them, and this is a part of my strategy, is I encourage them to, submit additional documentation, because before they submit an offer to buy, I want them to apply for the loan as if they were buying right there at that moment. That way we can look at everything up front, from all income and asset documents, tax returns, pay stubs, bank statements, credit report, and have everything reviewed now. In case there's an issue or a challenge, we can address that before going into escrow. And as we do that, we have this approval. So when Tanya submits her offer on behalf of her buyers to purchase the property, her terms are extremely strong with regards to the appraisal and loan contingencies, even if they even exist on the contract, because of all the work that we're doing up front on the loan side. And as that offer is submitted to the listing agent, myself, I'm personally calling the listing agent to introduce myself and to share information, not personal information, but share pertinent information to help the listing agent know how well prepared we are to close escrow, to give a little confidence to the listing agent that Tanya knows what she's doing, to give confidence to the agent that the buyers are the right buyers for their sellers. I mean, a listing agent doesn't know the difference between Jane Doe and John Doe that are both offering at 1.5 million.
Sure.
How is a listing agent supposed to know the difference between the two? They see plenty of money in the bank on the proof of funds letter, and they see a pre-approval letter. One might be from San Diego Funding that they might have not heard of before, and another one might be from Bank of America that everybody's heard of before. But it doesn't mean that that pre-approval letter has any weight. It's very easy to prepare them these days. So as a representative of the buyer, with their permission, I call the listing agents to tell them and itemize the steps that I've done up front, so those sellers know, what our next step is, and that the timelines that I'm setting is correct. And that helps create a lot of confidence, create a lot of confidence in the offer, create a lot of confidence in the buyer's agent, and the whole transaction as a whole. And so if we keep doing that over and over again, and then my side of the transaction delivering on time, the reputation becomes more and more built, and it allows me to have deeper conversations and better conversations with the same listing agents down the road. So next time Tanya has a different buyer with the particular listing agent, it's a lot more confidence, a lot more partnership taking place versus competitiveness. And it just creates a more positive and professional environment.
Now, in terms of the actual loan options, or what are you seeing a lot of buyers work with in terms of financing?
Right now there's a sweet spot out there in San Diego County with the Fannie Mae conforming loan limit of $753,250. And if the customer entertains that loan size, their interest rate is about 0.5% lower than a jumbo loan. So if somebody's buying at $1 million, $1.5 million, and they have plenty of money to make whatever decision they want, some people would simply like to put 20% down, and that's a great loan and a great solution. But when I communicate with them the options about putting a larger down payment to get to that 753,000 loan size, and how there's a 0.5% interest rate improvement, most customers are like, "Hey, that sounds easy to me. I like the lower rate." And then it's great for me because I take their documentation pile and I throw about half the documents out the window, because a Fannie Mae loan has less requirements than a jumbo loan does. So we're able to close faster, process less documents, get to the finish line a little quicker. But really, in addition to that type of client, what we're seeing a lot of right now is self-employed business owners, entrepreneurs, Schedule C business owners, sole proprietors, independent contractors. COVID has, given us a knuckle sandwich to the gut in a lot of cases, but a lot of people have been able to shine in the last 15, 16 months by working from home, by being more efficient, by changing their business models to more online. And so there's a lot of entrepreneurs and these sole proprietors that have really improved their finances over the last year and a half. And those types of buyers may not file really strong tax returns and may not fit inside the box of a big bank type loan like a credit union or a Wells or a Chase, et cetera. And so I'm doing a lot of bank statement loans right now, where a self-employed buyer can provide 3 months bank statements, 6 months bank statements, or even 12 months bank statements for the best rate. And they're putting 10, 15, 25% down payment on properties that are for sale between 1.2 and 2.5 million. I mean, a physician who might be running their own business, whose career just launched in the last year and a half, can put 10% down using bank statements and still get an interest rate below 4%. What a great deal, and they're so happy about that. It's a 30-year fixed loan. So what Tanya said earlier is that these buyers have cash. They may not be putting all their money down, or maybe they're putting a ton of money down. But most of these buyers are entertaining 30-year fixed loans. So the crisis that we had in 2006, 7, and 8, we're not going to have that anymore, because most of the loans we're doing today, or have done in the past 10 years, are 30-year fixed. There's no adjustable. There's no surprises. That, if the stock market, the unemployment rate, or any other type of crisis popped up to say hello, unwelcomed, of course, the homeowner's payment's going to stay the same, and so they just have to punch through this tough time and keep writing out that same monthly payment that they've started with, and grind it out. A really great thing to see. This is my opinion. I'm going to say something that's totally my opinion, and I could be absolutely wrong on this, so I apologize. But COVID has told us that we're not going to see a lot of foreclosures, most likely in the future. Maybe not ever again at the same volume that we saw 2006, 7, and 8. Like I said before, most loans are 30-year fixed loans. Because of a medical pandemic, homeowners were able to go into a no consequence forbearance and skip up to 6 or 12 months mortgage payments with no FICO score penalty. And then most people did not have to write a big check after this forbearance period was over. And so if they would do it for COVID, most likely they would do it for whatever future economic or health crisis may pop up in the future. And that gives people a lot of security that if they own a home and something really did become tough, there's a possibility that a forbearance would be the easy answer at no fees, no interest, no FICO score consequence. And that's something that someone who's sitting on the sideline needs to really think about and consider when it comes to home ownership compared to rent. I don't know. What do you think, Tanya? I mean, when we're looking at today's transactions and so forth, and lending is so solid and secure, why would a home buyer, why would an individual not become a homeowner?
I think it's again just because of the misnomers that people believe in or subscribe to, which is it's going to be too hard for me. I hear on the news it's so competitive and houses are getting 20 offers on them. Why should I even try? Or again, I think this is just a bubble. It must be like 2008, and I don't want to get caught up like people did then. San Diego in the last year, in most markets, has increased in value by 15%. Where are you going to get a return like that? So even if you had bought a, let's say, $500,000 condo in San Diego, and you put 20% down. Yes, a $500,000 condo exists in San Diego, all over San Diego, and all different kinds of communities with all different kinds of lifestyles. Okay, so when you do the math on that, it's going to be cheaper than just about anywhere you would rent in San Diego. That's the math. That's the simple math. But had you done that a year ago, or even let's say 2 years ago, but even just within the past year, which has been a very difficult, very revealing year. I mean, let's be honest. If you can make it in COVID, if you survived COVID, my hat's off to you. However you survived it and whatever you did it. Okay, my hat's off to you. But if you had bought one of those condos a year ago, you would have paid the same amount as rent, but you would have had an investment increased by 15%. Even stockbrokers are always, shooting for a 10%. That's like, a golden benchmark in stock investing is trying to shoot for 10%. San Diego just did 15%. So you would have paid your rent, stayed secure, and made money. So if you guys decided, you know what, we want to sell, or our job is going to transfer to another state, or we need to be closer to aging parents, or we want to start a family in it, whatever your life situation is, you would have just made 15% of your money.
But it doesn't stop there, Tanya.
I don't see that slowing down. Yeah. Talk to me.
Yeah, it doesn't stop there, because if you occupy that property for 2 consecutive years out of the most recent 5, you don't have to pay federal income taxes on the gain of that real estate. Right. Where if you were to invest $100,000 in the stock market and get a percentage of return on investment, when you sell those shares, you're paying capital gains on your taxes.
Exactly.
So it's a really great reason to become a homeowner. Just the list doesn't end. It really doesn't.
when you think about some of the homes in the price points you can get into now, and I don't think this is going to last forever, right? But if you're somebody like most of us, right, that just can afford a $450,000 house. I helped someone into a $329,000 house. We closed escrow on Friday. It exists. He can drive 10 minutes to the beach, okay? From his house, there's a golf course next door. $329,000. Where else can you find that? But you can 3, 4, 5, 6. You can get into these homes and the math is still better than a rental. Than any rental you can get in San Diego. So I want you to know that these homes in these price points exist. I want you to have faith that you can have one. I want you to not believe the hype that people say that it's scary. It's scary to qualify. It's scary to talk to a lender.
Right.
You'd be wasting your time going out with an agent. Let's go out. Let's go out. You are not wasting your time. You're securing your future. Again, I think about my grandma. She didn't even know how to drive, but she bought a house. And that changed the lives of generations of people.
Right.
And that's you. Don't be scared. Don't listen to the stuff. Don't listen to the stuff. Success, not stress. Don't listen to the stressful messages. We're out here. We're doing it. Everyday people with all kinds of jobs and all kinds of savings and all kinds of needs are out here doing it. It is for you. It's not for them or someone else or the millionaire. If you're the millionaire and you want that, we've got plenty of that. But if you're not, let's go out and get you secure. Allow people who grew up here to get something now before they end up chasing the market. I lived through that. It's not easy. Get people who are coming from other areas secure. Get young families. It's maybe not your forever home, and that's okay, but get something better than a rental that you can make some money off of in the future. You can also just feel secure. You can paint the room the crazy color you want. It's your house, your dog can be in the yard. It's yours. Okay, that feels different. That makes life feel different. It really does.
So what I'm hearing is this market can be crazy because it's just coming off of a very challenging year, and now that the market is back, it's in full force, and there's a lot of value here. So you have a lot of legitimate buyers coming in from out of town, in town, what have you. And it's also, 2020 has kind of made people really, analyze and think, okay, where do I want to live actually? What would I value most if I've been home for X amount of months and I've rethought a lot of what I truly value. But what you're saying is you can still find success in this marketplace. It does take a lot of work. But if you're surrounded by a team, which includes a broker and a lender and a list of other professionals to get the job done, you can still achieve your dream.
100%. I mean, honestly, David, it's what I bank my whole life on. It's if I didn't believe in that and I wasn't out there busting my butt every day, making that happen and helping make that happen and watching that happen for all kinds of people, from 300,000 to 3 million, it makes no difference to me, because at the end of the day, when I see somebody secure something for themselves, secure the feeling of ownership, and create some future wealth and future security, I believe in it 100%. It's what I live for. Honestly, it sounds cliche, but it's the truth. What else would I be living for, right? Yeah, I couldn't do this if I wasn't seeing that happen daily. I couldn't do it.
Well, that's so fantastic. I love your story. Obviously, I love the wealth of information you guys both have given us today. I think what it's done for me, actually, and I'm in this, I consider myself in the industry, right? Because I'm talking to agents and lenders and whatnot, and I know the craziness that exists right now. I think it's a little crazy in the sense of not that the value isn't there, not that it's not possible, but just that there's a lot of work that I think, you know, to get something accepted in this market is takes a little bit more effort, I think. But what you're saying is it's possible, and I love that. I always want to believe that it's possible for myself, even if, you know, if I wanted to move, I could find something that fits my needs, my newer needs, right? My 2021 needs a little bit better. So thank you for that, Tanya. Thank you for sharing your story too, how you got involved, and really appreciate that. Again, your authenticity in the market is awesome to watch, and I'm excited to see you continue to grow and to get more people into the homes of their dreams and you know, reach their real estate goals, right? That's what you do.
Yeah. And, you know, again, you know, it's, I would say not only is it possible, but it's easy. It's still easy. And we've been talking kind of a lot about the buyer side. I have a great amount of respect for the sellers right now. People say, oh, it's a seller's market. We already talked about how it's not, but they talk about how, all the seller has to do is stick a sign in the yard and everything is so easy for them. And selling agents who are listing properties have it so easy. I don't know if you can understand what it's like to look at 20 offers on a Sunday night and 5 of them have uncapped escalation clauses, and think about the legal liability and help walk someone through those steps. Okay, there's a lot. It's not, there is a lot of, I would say, speed and complexity. I would not say challenges. I would say speed and complexity. And we're all adults. We're all ready for that. And the sellers out there and the buyers out there are either ready for that, or they're going to should be linked with someone who is, to take that off of them. It's not challenging. It's fast and it's complex. And there is success for everybody out there. Let's calm it down. Let's even kind of undo using the word crazy market, because that's sort of feeding the energy. And let's just say this is a phenomenal market. Phenomenal market if you are ready to go. And if you've got a team around you that can help you go.
And you won't know if you're ready unless you talk to Mike.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's like going to see the dentist or the doctor. You're not sure, but after you go, you're like, oh, that was good. Yeah,
nice.
I know what I got going on. I'm good.
Well, Mike, thank you also for being, you know, co-host of the show today.
Of course.
You guys are great people. I'm happy to be in your circle, and I'm glad that have you both on here today. Where's a great place for people to connect with you, Tanya? Where can they go online to connect with you?
Yeah, well, as you know, and you've been a part of this lately, I'm rebuilding a website, but when that's done, people can go to tparksrealestate.com. But I really just love connecting with people on social media and Facebook. The Facebook is Tanya Parks Realtor. Type that in. I'm sure I'm one of the few Tanya Parks Realtors out there, so I'll come right up. You can go to Instagram, tparksrealestate. Real Estate. I am in Encinitas at the Pacific Sotheby's office, and I've always got hot coffee and cold water. If you want to come by and talk about it for real, you just give me a call, knock on the door, and those are some good ways to connect with me.
Nice. And you, Mike?
You know, these days, find me on Instagram at my handle's MTG Mike SD. Yeah. And I'm always there. I hate to say it, but I'm always there. Happy to help out and love to meet you.
Yeah. Nice. Well, perfect. Thank you both again. Thanks for watching. Be sure to connect with Tanya and Mike, and hope you guys have you guys back on the show so we can talk about new exciting things that are coming in the horizon for you both, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right, David. Thanks for having us.
You're so good to us. You're so good, and you're such an important part of. No, you're an important part of the community out here, and you know that can't be easy. That can't be.
Well, thank you. I love. I mean, I'm not. You know, I'm not an agent or a broker, and I'm not a lender, but I love to find out what's really happening, because that just keeps my ears on the ground. I'm able to kind of be in the trenches with you guys and understand what's going on versus having a disconnected relationship, I wouldn't really know what's going on, and then I don't think I would be able to connect with you guys as well. So I'm happy to hear. I'm here. I'm all ears. I'll have questions, and I love asking questions. So I'm glad to be on here with you both.
Thank you. You're doing a big service, and you're helping people outside of the industry get a different perspective on what's happening inside. And I think that that's really important, because there's some truths that need to be told, right? And they're good news. Right. That's what is the best thing. Spread the good news.
Yeah, and I will say you definitely shed some new light on my own perspective on the market. So I appreciate that. Both you and Mike did a phenomenal job. I've always been positive about it, but now I understand it at a whole new level. So thank you both.
You got it, David.
All right, take care, guys. All right, have a good one.